or me?
I don't know. It's a coin toss. You got a coin?
I can find a coin. Sure. Do people use them anymore? I got one right here. Here it is. A
There you
coin.
go.
Okay, heads or tails?
Heads.
Oh, it was tails.
All right, you're up.
I'm
Batter
doing
up.
the intro. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lockbox Lunatics podcast. This is our 10th episode. Blowing the train horn. I'm
That
telling
was
you,
the Casey
folks, he's
Jones
blowing the
Cannonball
train
number
horn.
99.
He's going to
Special
have to go
order
get
coin.
vaccinated after this because that train horn has a story. It was in his mom's real estate office. It was there for kids. We don't know how many people have stuck their mouth on that train horn. That sounds wrong all in and of itself.
It
But let's just
does.
have fingers crossed, knock on wood, that Chad doesn't get like Ebola or something weird.
Right.
Um, God bless you, man.
Well, it's been around since probably 86.
That's intense, dude. That's
So
intense.
I'm not a mathematician, but when I do the math, that's a lot of years.
That is a lot of years. That's at least 14 of something plus the 25 that we're on. That gets
That's
39 years, I think, if my math is.
that's in my professional opinion and my math skills.
But he can do percentages off of homes. He can get you a good deal. He does
Spot
know
on.
how
That's
to
right.
figure that out. So,
That's right.
that being said, here's the
So
thing.
congratulations for our 10th one, Steve.
Yeah, it's our 10th one. I'm excited about it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Well, talking about germs and all that, I'm just glad that I'm here because I had a crazy little incident, as you're aware of, with a ruptured appendix, which was no fun, and got me into a hospital stay and a little drain bag, which I called my juice box because you have to name it something.
You
So,
do.
but that is all gone now, and I'm back at it and feeling 100%. And not only is today our 10th episode anniversary, but today is National Water Park Day and uh, yeah, right. So go to a water park and National Milk Chocolate Day. So you know what? Head to a water park, chow down on a bunch of chocolate, enjoy the day, man. It's a big day.
Right. Right. Interesting thing about the water park thing, there's a little fight going on in our neck of the woods down here. Queen Creek installed a nice community center, and in that community center, it has a little water park splash pad, a
Okay.
lazy river, and things of that nature. And they are excluding anyone that does not live in city limits from access to that right now.
Oh boy,
Yeah. So
that is not going to go over well. That's going to go over like a fart in church.
that's right. That's right. And if you've ever been there, you know what he's talking about. Um, But yeah, so there's a big stink about that right now. So specifically Santan Valley residents are all in an uproar, right? And so the debate is, well, hey, you don't pay town of Queen Creek taxes. Why should you have access to it? And I think there's a deeper story to it because Santan Valley continues, and another part of town, I think Santan Valley, the old Johnson Ranch area. They've tried to incorporate two or three times over the past 20 years and
Yeah.
keep voting it down. Queen Creek, claims that they don't want to annex it in the Queen Creek city limits. But I think there's a good opportunity for Queen Creek to go out there and say, hey, look, you know what? Fine. You beat us into submission. Come on into the fold, become a Queen Creek resident, and you can have access to this multi-million-dollar facility that we're not allowing access to. So
Yeah.
time will tell whether or not that's their strategy.
If that's what happens, bring him into the fold. Kind of, it's a little forceful, but that's okay. We don't have anything that exciting going on up here with the HOA type things. We have a few HOAs. People here, a lot of people here are pretty vehemently anti HOA, anti
right.
things, and so um, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't have anything like that going on.
I
So
I just got a letter from an HOA on one of the properties I manage down there in Santan Valley. HOA is like, hey, this bush is dead. I'm like, it's July, it's 100 some out. There's still green in it. It's not totally dead. It'll be fine. Just leave us alone.
give it a minute. Give it a minute to take the summer. It's on summer vacation. Give it a second. It'll come back in the fall. It's fine.
That's
That's fine
right.
though. It's kind of a trip. We talk a little bit about HOAs. HOAs are a double-edged sword, right?
They are.
HOAs are something. So, if anybody is watching us out there in the interwebs and you want to comment on HOAs, please do because I know that's a very supercharged subject. People get
Yeah.
kind of weird about HOAs. They are good and bad, and they have their place. if they're managed properly and they're kind of realistic. But you can tell sometimes neighborhoods that have them, neighborhoods that don't. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. You can drive through certain neighborhoods and you're like, wow, everything's super dialed in here. It's really cohesive. I really, it feels good. Everything's dialed in. A lot of times it has no HOA. And
Right.
sometimes the ones without HOAs, got some crazy stuff happen. And
Right.
we've seen some crazy things when HOAs are not um
Kept in
like
check.
active or in place. One of my first houses I had in Kennewick, I had this beautiful view, big half-acre yard, had a beautiful view of these orchards and then these like these hills in the background. It was really pretty. But the house behind me decided to put up a two-story shop that ran the entire length of the backyard right up against the fence line. I just had this monstrosity looking in on me. Nothing I could do because no HOAs or anything, nothing to stop him from doing it.
Oh
And
man.
and I'm a drummer. I've played drums my whole life, so I appreciate it. But his kid was learning how to play drums, and boy, did I get to hear that constantly. And as a drummer, it just pained me because it was really sloppy and it was
Right.
bad. But he was learning. But anyways, uh,
Now we covered a little bit about my backstory. So you brought up that you were a drummer. Why don't you go ahead and fill our viewers into some of your history, and then also kind of get into why you got into real estate?
absolutely. So way back in the day, I played drums my whole life. Had a record contract at one point in time. Did some touring. That was kind of fun. Then I had to get a job after that all ended. And so I've always been in sales. Sales is something that's been fascinating to me. My background, my degrees in marketing, general business and marketing. That's kind of my degree. I've always been fascinated by how business and marketing work and how they kind of tie together and what keeps all the wheels turning and all that fun stuff. And I went to work for Philip Morris of all people at one point in
Oh,
time. I was the Marlboro man for Central Washington. So
right.
not like I didn't ride around on a horse and wear my hat or anything like that, but I was like the guy that distributed Marlboro products throughout all of Central Washington. And that's a very big kind of farming community.
So
A lot of
you hit
revenues
all the high schools and elementary schools, is what you're saying.
hit the high schools, hit the elementary schools, tried to do what I what I could for that.
Now
Um,
we know we you didn't do
no,
that.
no,
That's a
no.
bad
We
joke on
didn't
my
we
part. I
didn't market
apologize.
to anybody under 18. That was off limits. That was off limits. So our marketing was interesting though. That was fascinating, but I myself do not smoke, and so it was kind of a learning experience. And then I wanted to get into something more where I felt like I was at least bringing some value and drive to people and to our clients. And I got into pharmaceutical sales, and so
Hmm.
I did that for a really long time. Moved to Tri Cities where I am now in 2000, and then I did that for about 12 years, and then in late 2011, early 2012, I got into real estate because I was kind of tired of the merry-go-round. There's a lot of mergers and acquisitions in medical. So I was constantly working for one company or another. And then they were like, oh, hey, we have two of you in the same spot. So one of you is getting laid off. And it depends on which company bought who as to who had the hierarchy and all that fun stuff. Got tired of that. I really learned a lot moving around during that time frame about what I liked and disliked in realtors, but also in just enjoying real estate. So I thought,
Right.
you know what, I want to kind of get into a career where I feel like I have a little bit more control over my future. Like if I'm not cutting it, then I just look in the mirror and say, hey man, it's on me. There's nobody else I can blame it on. It's on me to get out and make it happen every day. And I like that challenge and that sense of ownership. That was kind of fun for me. That was exciting. Did horrible my first year in real estate. Spent more money on marketing than I like three times as much on marketing as I made. It was bad, 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 bad. I was like, boy, this business model is certainly not working for me at all. So I kind of pivoted, did much better the second year, and just kind of built from there. And I love it. I wish I would have started a lot sooner. Is it stressful? Being in real estate is it's kind of as stressful as you want it to be, I guess. There are times when you're like, oh boy, man, I'm not selling anything. That bank account's getting pretty low, right? And those are scary times because, as I tell people, we kind of go out, we eat what we hunt, right? I mean, we if we're not out going after it, you will not last in this business. But I love people and I love talking to people and I love learning about people. So my approach has been less salesy and more learning about people. And I find when I just have conversations with people and learn about people, you truly connect with them. And that creates a lasting impression on them and me. And luckily, I've been very fortunate that people call me when they have real estate needs. So I'm pretty much 100% referral based at this point, and have been for quite some time. And I really like that.
Right.
So yeah, I started an independent brokerage, and then 2.5 years ago, about now, I think it is, got the Exit franchise for up here in Kennewick, Washington, and really enjoy Exit. I've had a chance to meet people like you. We have phenomenal
Right.
people within the
Oh, yeah.
organization,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like I'm all by myself now trying to reinvent everything. I have people that I can lean into that are really good at what they do, and I have really robust materials behind us to help support what we do, which I really, really love. And I'm super passionate about training, so love training our agents. And so, yeah, that's kind of the roundabout way I got into real estate. It was so I've been doing it for a minute now, but I love it.
Right. So you made a mention that, after the first year, you made a pivot. You
Yeah,
recognized that you were overspending on marketing, or at least you weren't receiving a return. What,
yeah.
obviously, when you look at your bank account and you look at your production, that's, a red alarm, a light goes off. I need to look at this. So when you look back at that first year and you pivoted, do you recall what steps you took to
Hmm.
correct the ship? Because obviously you were sailing in the wrong direction. So
Oh yeah, big
what
time.
what did you specifically do, if you recall, to correct that ship?
Oh yeah, no, I do. So I realized that the first year I got a lot of phone calls from everybody. Hey, you're a brand new agent. We've got this great marketing thing. And I signed up for just about everything in the world because everybody that was calling me seemed to have a product that was going to fix everything for me and just deliver sales to my front. Like all I had to do was just sit there and sign up for this product, and sales were just going to roll in through the door. It was going to be easy sailing, right?
Right.
Until I realized that a lot of these memberships did absolutely nothing for me. So I realized that to a certain extent, I was sort of a best kept secret. And we did talk about this. I was relying on a lot of these other tools and platforms that promised to just put me everywhere and in front of all the right buyers and sellers that they were going to just come knocking down my door. And I was naive enough in that first year to kind of believe that, right? And then I realized when I looked at my business plan that it did not include nearly enough go out and connect with people. It didn't include going out and networking with people. It didn't include what I like to call feet on the street, right? Like get out and go meet the people, talk to people, connect with people. That was the biggest change I made. So as I was looking at the first year going, something has to change dramatically. What am I missing? Well, I'm sitting here waiting for things to come in because I've signed up for all these great programs. And I had some stuff roll in, but it wasn't good stuff, and it was a lot of bad leads and just chasing my tail, honestly. So
Right.
that second year, man, I was at ribbon cutting ceremonies. I went and visited the Chamber of Commerce. I visited with the Visitors Bureau in our area here. I went out and talked to wineries and left my business card there because I thought, hey, we have a big wine region up here. People come to visit from all over. Well, guess what? The wine people are talking to them, tasting room. Hey, what are you guys doing here? Oh, we're thinking about moving here. Oh, hot dog. Here's a realtor. I can't tell you how much that paid off in spades for me. The visitor center here. Hey, Steve, we got some people that are here from Texas. They're here for 3 days. They want to look at properties. Are you available to show properties right now? You betcha. Go over and pick them up, and we go out and look at properties. That was probably the biggest thing that actually changed my business was going out and connecting with people that were going to connect with a lot of other people so they could be like triple my marketing, right? Because if I could get them to believe in me and understand who I was and say, wow, Steve's a great guy, he's a really good agent. When somebody comes in, we're going to go ahead and hand his card off when somebody talks about real estate. That
Right.
was huge for me. And that didn't cost me a thing but my time and going out and talking to people. So that's when I realized kind of my superpower, if you will, was going out and connecting with people and talking to people. And that single handedly changed my business. And so I'm a big believer that if agents come in now and they say, well, I'm all over Facebook, I'm all over this, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Insta, I'm all this stuff going on, that's awesome. But can you tell me, has it led to a sale? Because at the end of the day, we're a sales based organization. What we do is sell. I can do all the cool things in the world and I can be all over the place. But if I'm not closing a deal, none of it matters, right?
Right.
And so that was the big aha moment for me. That was the big thing, was get out and meet people.
So as you got out and met folks, um, go ahead and correlate that to how that benefits your client base. Because
Oh my gosh.
there's a tremendous benefit, for whenever someone comes to you and says, "Hey, Steve, I want to sell such and such."
Hmm.
You and I both know, the advantage to that, but go ahead and share in your own
Oh
words.
man, yeah, the
That benefits
connections
your
that I
clients.
built, my sphere got so big and became so vast, and I had so many connections with other business owners in multiple specialties, so that when somebody was new to the area, let's say they said, "Hey, I just got here," and I was like, "What do you like to do?" And they're like, "I like this, this, and this." I'm like, "I'm gonna plug you into the community." And I would go with them and I would introduce them personally to these other people that had things in common that supported maybe their hobbies or things that they were passionate about, or even looking for a job, right? Maybe they wanted one of the spouses wasn't working and wanted to work. And the cool part is that when somebody goes to sell, they would call me and they know, Steve, you know a ton of people in the community. You betcha. What do you have? What do you want to sell that house? I knew exactly who to go talk to about that house. I could generally find a buyer for them within my sphere without even having to advertise it a lot of times. So the sphere and the connections I made within the community, people saw me as a pillar of the community, as part of that community. I was able to connect people in ways that I have people that have since moved from the area that live across the country, and they still refer people to me here locally. They'll say, "Hey, my buddy just talked to him, and he's up in wherever, XYZ, in Kennewick or Richland or Pasco. He's going to be selling his house. I told him to go talk to you. Here's his name and phone number." And they live in Tennessee, yet they're still referring people over to me because they know that I'm super plugged into the community, right? And they know that I'm very transparent. They know I'm really good at negotiating and finding the right deals, and they know that kind of I wear it on my sleeve, right? You get what you get with me, and I don't pull any punches. And but the cool part is it really did benefit my clients by knowing a lot of different people. I'm part of the community. I understand where I consider myself a resource as much as a realtor, right?
Right. Right. And I think that's paramount. I think, if you're in the industry or if you're looking for someone in the industry to help you with a transaction or investment or what have you, it's extremely important that you have an agent. You know, there's a reason we have two ears and one mouth, right? We need to
Yeah.
listen twice as much as we speak, right? And so I think it's paramount that is as an agent that we sit and listen to the consumer, we sit and listen to our customers, we sit and listen to our database, and get more interested in their life and in what they're doing. I'm just whenever I talk to anybody and I find out, what their interest is, my mind is like a super highways trying to connect dots. Okay, so you said you like this. Who else do I know that likes this, this, and this? And what can I do to help you achieve whatever accomplishment that you want to achieve? Or get involved in a type of community, whether it's, from a business perspective or whether it's a social, perspective, just to help folks enjoy life, enjoy the community here. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that we try and do. And what I trying to accomplish as well is, introducing folks that are like-minded and that are going to help other individuals advance in whatever capacity they're wanting to advance in.
Oh, 100%. I think it's interesting because like I work with a lot of investors, as you know, and one of the interesting things is they're interested in some things in your area. So I've been sending them different ideas of potential
Right.
multifamily and this and that. And the cool part is that I have you as a resource, right? Because you do a lot of property management. So if they have a property management question or there's something about a specific area, I pick up the phone and I call you or email you. Hey, what do you think of this investment based upon what you know about this area? What do you think? Are the rents realistic? Is this reasonable? What kind of vacancy rates? And so that's just a great example, another example. It's not only the people that I have in my area, but it's people such as you that I have in other areas that I can connect with and ask questions and get great advice on. And I think that when you go back to that second year change, I'll add one more component to that. I think my mindset went from a singular to a collaborative, if that
Mm,
makes sense. I decided that I'm going to call in experts and get to know experts and find people that can help me make sense of a situation to ensure that my clients are getting the absolute best out of me and the best of what they're looking to purchase. Is it the right thing for them? Not just putting them in a home, but finding the exact right home or the exact right lease or the exact right commercial building for what their goals were. And the only way that I can do that is by understanding what their goals are. and then surrounding myself with experts that can help guide me within that specific niche if that was the case. So I
Right.
think it's very collaborative. So that's, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and that's a big component no matter what type of business you're in, or realistically, just from a day-to-day basis. Let's say you're not even in sales, right? And you're just someone who's got some kids in school, and you get to talking to somebody, an individual, and you find out their likes, their dislikes, and you can start connecting folks, and you can help enrich other people's lives, and it's paramount, from a human connection perspective, that we're all willing to do that, and be on the lookout for that. So that's some great information. Now, let me ask this. Now, you did, we touched base briefly on that you were a drummer. What was the name of your band?
The band was called Flourish at the time, which we
Okay.
let the name go. And there's a band on YouTube now that if you Google Flourish, it's
It's
not
not
great.
Flourish.
Ours comes up under Lobe Candy Records, which was our first independent contract.
Okay.
Um, and they call themselves America's Band. That is not us. It's not us. I'll just leave it there.
Well,
It's not so great, but people can go on and find a old school one. There was a song out there floating around on YouTube somewhere under the Lope Candy Records label called Single File. They can kind of check that out. That was a song that we liked. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, man.
well,
Um,
interestingly enough, the intro and extra to our podcast is courtesy of you folks, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
bring the noise.
that's right. Make the noise. Well, we want to be respectful of our viewers. I know we just touched base. I just wanted to kind of introduce Steve a little bit. I know last week I got off on a tangent on myself. And so as I sat here and we started talking about HOAs, I forget what triggered it. I was like, you know what? I think folks need to learn a little bit more about Steve, because you've got a very intriguing and interesting background as well.
I've done
Some
some
people,
stuff.
you've done some, I've seen some things, man. Uh, but yeah, no, is I appreciate everyone viewing in. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any comments for us, please go ahead and share that in the comments below. Any suggestions for topics, we would love to hear that. We also need
Yes.
to start getting in some additional special guests, and I believe Steve and I are going to start working on that as well. So
Yeah, get some
yeah,
folks in.
yeah. So we'd like to thank everyone for spending some time with us, and we look
Yes.
forward to talking to you folks next week. Take care.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, man.